Hey nerds, welcome once again to another episode of the Brief Nerdity podcast. I'm your host Ryan. Here with me again is Trent.
Hello.
And we have another special guest for you this week, our friend TJ. How's it going, TJ?
Why, hello. It is going well. How are you guys doing?
Doing really good. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
So I really wanted to have TJ on this week because he is the resident Nintendo expert in my Facebook page. No, we met back in, it was 2008, wasn't it? The Iron Man of Gaming 2008. Screw Attacks Iron Man of Gaming, is that right?
Yeah, yes it was. That was the first time.
How did you end up doing in that championship? I don't quite remember. I remember you did well, obviously, but
Oh yeah, sure. Well, that was the first year I went, and then I only went twice. I went the year after that as well. The first year I got fourth place.
Nice.
The top position that they gave no recognition to. And then the second year I got third place, and that year was the spot they gave no recognition to. So,
dang. I think I got like 7th or 8th. I was kind of there.
Well, see, it's because you didn't use the shortcut to warp through the portals to the end of the game.
Sick reference, bro. But yeah, I remember that was a big fun time. But we kind of met then, became friends, and been kind of hanging out ever since. We were coworkers for a little while, kind of.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, that was very cool. But yeah, TJ really knows his Nintendo stuff, and I figured it'd be great to have him on here, and in light of the Switch announcements. Besides becoming or getting in 4th and 3rd in Iron Man, I bet he does have some prestige in another tournament. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, back in 2010, which geez, it's been a while now. Yeah, me and my buddy Chris, we were in a national tournament that Nintendo held called the 2010 Wii Summer Games. It was a partners tournament, so me and him entered, and we were crowned champions in the adult category. So yeah, I think they said there were over like 200,000 entries. Yeah, and we came out on top. It was probably one of the best moments of my life.
Nice. It's so cool. I was so jealous. Sounds like a lot of fun. You also got to be in a Nintendo commercial because of that, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. At the event, they were holding auditions. So like anyone there that was at the event, you didn't have to be in it. You could try out for it. And every time we'd walk by every day, because it was a multi-day event, they would be like, "Hey, you guys should come try out." And we're like, "No, we're focusing on this tournament. Like, we're not worried about that right now." And then once we won, we were like, "Hey, we should probably go audition for that commercial now that we won." So we did, and I think that kind of helped us out because, yeah, it got us the commercial. It was pretty crazy. Never thought anything like that would ever happen.
I love the commercial too. You guys were great in it. And I love how you guys pull out your trophies and everything in the commercial. Such a good commercial.
Yeah, thank you. It was pretty wild, pretty surreal. One of the prizes I got to be in Nintendo Power, and it's funny because I just remember being a kid and seeing like those championships and stuff, and seeing the winners and thinking like, "Oh man, how cool would it be, to win that?" And you almost didn't think that really happened. You almost thought it was fake, like they just came up with these fake like contests for these magazines, but they were not fake.
And all you need to do is get a special Zelda room named after you, and you'll be good to go.
Yes. Yeah, I guess I'm not as prestigious as Chris Houlihan, but maybe one day.
Or Justin Bailey. Well, sweet. Well, just kind of from there, let's go ahead and talk some Switch.
Yes.
For those of you who aren't listening the same week that we're recording this, just a few days after the January 12th media reveal for the Switch. So TJ, let's go ahead and just start with you. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of information to take in. Also, they left a lot of information out there, like a lot of questions. I guess like it answered a lot of questions, but then it left you asking a lot more.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd say I'm really pleased. I'm really happy. The presentation itself, it started off really strong, and then when they started getting into like the developers coming out and announcing the different games, it was kind of petering off there a little bit. But yeah, once I took some time to just kind of reflect and think about it, overall, I'd say I was really happy and really impressed.
Nice. What about you, Trent?
Yeah, I thought it was really strong. There's a bit of a cultural difference, I think, just in terms of the way that certain jokes landed or didn't land. But I thought it was really good. There's a lot of really exciting things coming up. The Mario trailer blew me away. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, I definitely feel you there. My favorite part was the translators. I thought they did a fantastic and admirable job.
All except for that one. That poor guy. I don't know what was going on, but he just forgot how to talk.
Yeah.
I think was that the guy during Suda 51 when he was announcing his game.
I don't remember which game it was, but the guy was like,
Yeah, there was lots of ums and pauses, and
Well,
this game is the maybe the guy on stage was just saying a lot,
Well, actually,
and he's actually the best translator ever.
I read online that they actually had a transcript in advance. So,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Well, I thought one of the funniest parts about that was Suda 51, like he came out, to announce his game. He made it sound like he didn't really even have it started yet. He was just kind of like, hey, I thought it'd be cool to make a game, so I'm going to bring Travis Touchdown back. Here's a picture of him, if you forgot what he looks like. And yeah, I heard the Switch is pretty easy to develop for, so yeah, I decided I'll make a game for it. I was like, oh, all right. And that's all we got.
I think I had the same reaction to the Zelda trailer as you did, Trent.
Oh my
I kind of kept this a little bit to myself recently, and I might get, I like to use this verb, but I might get crucified again for it. But all the Zelda footage, probably up until that trailer, I didn't think it was going to be bad because you can't make a bad Zelda game. But like, just a lot of little things with all the footage they've shown so far. I mean, they kind of only showed that same plateau, and they're just like, oh look, Link can pick up stuff, and oh look, there's no hearts anymore. You got to pick up food, and you get more hearts if you cook it, and if you use the Link amiibo, meat will fall from the sky, and you could go fight the final boss right from the beginning of the game. And I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know. It's like, I just kind of kept thinking to myself over and over. Like, I love Zelda, I love Skyrim, but I don't want Zelda Skyrim. I want my Zelda to be Zelda, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so, like, not to say I wasn't excited for the game, because I was always going to get it day one, because Zelda is my second favorite franchise of all time, only behind Mass Effect, and it was my favorite for the majority of my life. And so I'll never not love Zelda. But I wouldn't say worried, but I felt the fact that both Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword were, I don't want to say up to par. I think that's a little bit mean, because they were still great games, but they weren't as good as they could have been. And with the fact that Link Between Worlds was so out of this world amazing, I thought, that Breath of the Wild had a lot to prove, and they hadn't yet proved it to me. But the trailer really proved me wrong, and that really got me going and got me on the hype train, Spirit Tracks hype train, and I'm officially excited now. Color me very, very excited for Zelda.
Yeah, I really think this was the first trailer that was really it really focused on the cinematics. The other ones were more like you said, hey, look what you can do. You could do this, you could do that, amiibo stuff. But this is the first one that showed like a wide variety of characters. Because I think for a long time, a lot of people were like, well, who else is in this game?
Yeah.
How come it's this giant world and no one's in it? But yeah, they kind of put that to rest here.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first cinematic trailer, as far as I know, the one that really, I mean, it was epic. It was like the shots were fantastic. The music calling back to the original score, but being new at the same time, was just so many good feels.
Yeah, and the voice acting too.
Yes, that's exciting.
That caught me completely off guard.
I wonder who's going to play Link. No, I'm just kidding.
The same guy that played Gordon Freeman, I think.
I was just about to say that. I was literally about to make that same joke. Nice. But yeah, overall, I'm still really, really excited for the Switch. There's a few things I'm not so excited about that we'll talk about here later, but probably the thing I'm most excited for, besides Mario and Zelda, which are always things to get excited about, are the fact that, if this thing succeeds, that Nintendo's portable and home console market will be unified. You'll get games like Breath of the Wild that can be taken on the go, and you could get a new Game Freak Pokemon game that you could play on your TV, theoretically. And so
very exciting.
The game
they didn't say anything about it in the conference, but there's a large amount of rumors that are talking about like that the Sun and Moon, third game installment will be for the Switch.
Yeah, I would love that.
It'd be big.
Yeah, that would be great. No more having to just focus on like Coliseum games.
Yeah, and just having the option.
I really think that that is like probably overall, if I had to pick like the one thing I'm most excited for this console about, is the fact that it is finally unifying like portable and like home console. Because now, like you said, developers don't have to pick anymore. They don't have to go, all right, what are we going to spend our time and resources on? Are we going to make a 3DS game? Are we going to make a Wii U game? Now they can just focus on one. Because, like, for example, like A Link Between Worlds, I absolutely adored that game, loved it, and it played fine on 3DS. But I was like, man, I really wish I could play this on my TV. Like, I really do, because I love the game that much. And yeah, going forward, won't really have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's a very, very exciting time. I really genuinely hope it does well. So a few things I'm not so excited about. They didn't announce this during the actual press conference, but they announced the next day the paid online service for the game. You guys hear about that?
Yeah, and they said it starts in the fall, I believe.
Yeah, it's a free trial until the fall, and then it's paid after that. They haven't announced pricing
So
yet.
is this their version of like PSN and Xbox Gold?
Yes.
Yeah, it's what it seems like.
So it's kind of unfortunate. It could work really, really well, like Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. But as someone who's been gaming on the PC for free, online for free for a little bit, it's kind of like a little ooh, because even though I own a PS4, like I bought a single year of PlayStation Plus, like when I bought the PS4, but then like I don't think I ever used it. I may have like played the Killzone launch title online a couple of times, just to be like ooh, shiny, but I don't think I genuinely use it very much. And to be honest, I keep my Xbox Live subscription going, but I don't use it super often either. And so I personally just don't know how much I'm going to use a paid online service on a Nintendo console.
Yeah, and it is a little cloudy. Obviously, they're going to have more details, hopefully sooner than later. But from what I got out of it, they made it seem like voice chat is going to be through your phone, like through the app on your phone, and not actually the console itself.
That's
Now, that's not like confirmed or anything, but yeah, that's what it really seems like, and that's kind of strange.
That would be kind of strange, especially considering services like Discord already and Skype already exist on your phones.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is really strange, and I mean, I don't know, because the PlayStation Network was pretty bad before they switched to a paid model, and then they've been able to do a lot of upgrades since then. So the only positive spin I can put on this is if they start charging people for it, then they start putting that money towards improving the system. Because right now in Nintendo's online and like friend social system stuff is pretty bad compared to like any other service.
Yeah. They did confirm no more friend codes though, so that's a good thing.
Woo!
Yay! We've made it to 2004 Xbox Live.
They'll catch up eventually.
Well, another thing with the paid online service that I felt that they were just so close, but they just missed the mark, is that they said that every month you get a free NES or Super NES game with it.
Which is great.
But
right.
There's a big but there. But you lose the game after the month. If you want to continue playing the game or have it in your library, you have to pay what we believe to be full price for the game, a virtual console game, which I think is a bit silly.
Well, which also leads to another question. Does anything from your virtual console library from before carry over? Are they going to do the discount model again where it's like, oh, you bought Zelda before, here you get it for $1 or $2, whatever. Are they going to do that, or are they just starting from scratch? That's my biggest question.
That's the $1 million question. And that's honestly why I haven't really invested a lot into my virtual console library. Every now and then I buy a game, more try just to support that game to get a sequel. Like I've bought Super Mario RPG on there, just to be like, please, Square, make a sequel.
But that's how I am with Earthbound. I will buy Earthbound on pretty much anything they release it on. They can release it on loose leaf paper, and I'll buy it and support it.
Still waiting for that Mother 3 US release.
Yes, I did play through the fan translation, though. I waited long enough, waited as long as I could, and then I finally played through it. And Earthbound, for those of you that don't know, which is probably anyone listening to this, Earthbound's my favorite game of all time, like hands down. And Mother 3 now rivals that. Like I find myself asking myself, is Mother 3 actually the better game? So I really hope we get it.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to play Mother 3.
That's a franchise I have not gotten into before.
You know of it though, right?
Oh, I mean, I know of Ness.
No, it was just a really fun JRPG. It started on the NES, but that one didn't. Well, I guess I should say the Famicom, but the NES version never came out in the United States. It was just called Mother, and then Mother 2 was on the Super NES, which was or Super Famicom, which was released in the US as Earthbound.
Yep.
And then Mother 3 again didn't release in the US and was a GBA game in Japan.
Yeah, and the problem with Earthbound when it came out, it's kind of a not necessarily a sleeper hit, but it didn't really get that big of a following until after it was all done. I think one reason, I'm sure you both remember back in the day, game stores were a lot different back then than they are now. Shelf space meant everything to a game, and Earthbound came in that giant box because it came with the strategy guide. And I really feel like stores just didn't have a proper way to display it, so no one really knew about it. And then plus, if you look at the screenshots on the back, the graphics really didn't look like anything that special, which I think kind of turned a lot of people off. So they tried to do the good thing by making it big so everyone would see it and, come with the guide. But I think it ultimately just ended up hurting the game.
Yeah, I never knew that. It's unfortunate, though.
Yeah.
Well, maybe someday.
Yes.
Yeah, are you guys surprised they didn't announce Super Smash Brothers returning to the Switch?
I am very surprised by that.
Well, there was gotta love the people on the internet that can analyze every little thing. There was one part in the presentation where they showed a giant screen of maybe like, I don't know, like 20 to 30 like smaller screens, and up in the top right corner you could see like the fourth of one screenshot. Someone analyzed that, and it's Pokemon Stadium from Smash Brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't. All right.
Wow.
So
I mean,
probably on its way.
Yeah, you think it would that the Wii U version would be kind of a shoe-in for a Switch port,
Yeah.
An Ultimate Edition with all the DLC, maybe even a couple new characters like Banjo and Kazooie. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Nintendo.
Yeah, a port would be. I mean, it fits the game design fits their whole Switch philosophy too. Like the multiplayer with the different Joy Cons and lining up your switches to face each other and everything like that. It would be a perfect game for that.
I never even thought about that, but yeah, it works so well, because I mean, having the joystick and the 4 buttons is more than enough for Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
For the most part, especially with the shoulder button to shield and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and hey, that GameCube adapter, the GameCube adapter, 2 USB ports. The Switch has 3, I believe. So.
Wow.
Hopefully that's compatible with it too.
Yeah, of course we can't play Smash without the GameCube controller. That's just wrong on so many levels. Do you think they'll release a touchscreen Pikmin game?
Well, see, that's one of the things I kind of wonder about, because I was really surprised when they said it was a touchscreen. I really thought they were going to get away from that, because when it's docked, you're obviously not using the screen. So what do? You can't make a game focused on the touchscreen and have it playable on the TV. So I could see it being a control option, kind of like how they added it in the Pikmin 3 on Wii U, but I don't think it will be the only control option, though.
Yeah, I was kind of. Go ahead, Trent.
No, I was just wondering, like, I just find myself curious if there are any developers that would aim for, like, kind of wanting you to play it in handheld mode, or if they're kind of mandated to make it work in any aspect.
I would think at this point, this early on, like probably within the first year, they probably want you to be able to play it equally on both. I feel like that's how the DS was. If you remember when the DS launched, I think every single game had touchscreen controls, at least as an option, or they all had to use the dual screen. Like I really think they were pushing for that. And then as the years went on, it's like, okay, well now just do whatever you want.
Did you ever use that like thumb pad for Mario 64 DS, or just use the D-pad?
Oh yeah, I used it the first day, and then never again after that.
So that brings up another question: the shape of the screen and the way that 3DS games are made. Do you think we'll see any 3DS Direct ports? Because with that whole dual screen thing, that's going to be weird in a wide format handheld mode, or even on a TV.
I would say it's possible if they somehow release an adapter that you hold the Switch vertically, then you could have one half be the top screen, the other be the bottom screen, and you have some kind of controller on the sides. I think, but because with the two screens combined, it's an extremely vertical vertical screen, so to speak. So I think
Well,
that'd be the only way.
have either of you guys played any of the DS games they released for Wii U?
I haven't personally, no.
Yeah, I downloaded one. I downloaded Mario 64. And yeah, that like they give you a lot of different options. You could have the top screen on the TV, the bottom screen on the gamepad. You could have both screens on the TV, both on the gamepad. So they give you a lot of different like viewing options. But if it's any game like they release Spirit Tracks, if there's any game that relies on the touch screen, you have to play it on the touch screen. They didn't add in like a button and stick controls or anything. So it works fine on Wii U. I mean, it's not ideal, but it does work. But yeah, with the Switch, I don't think it would really work.
How does not Spirit Tracks, I guess it was the first one, Phantom Hourglass. How did that work with the whole thing where you had to press the DS together to solve that puzzle on the Wii U?
I heard someone ask that on another podcast I listened to, and that I totally didn't even think about that. I have no idea how they resolved that. That's a really, really good question.
Probably have to Google it after the podcast. Because did you get stuck on that puzzle too?
I think just along the way I heard someone talk about it. So by the time I got to it, no.
It was literally an accident thing for me where I was stuck there and I was like, whatever. I closed the DS and then went back to the game later and opened it up. I'm like, oh, that was it. And for those you don't know, and Trent, you probably don't know either, but there was some kind of puzzle in the DS and Zelda game where I forgot exactly how it went, but the top screen had, I don't know, I want to say like a stamp. It was a stamp basically. It was something in reverse, and you had to literally close the DS as if it was stamping the bottom screen with the reverse image to solve the puzzle. And so, so yeah, you're stuck there on that screen. You could either just look at that screen or back out is your only option. So you're tapping, you're pushing buttons. You're just like, what the heck? And then close your DS, and that's how you solve the puzzle. So,
so clever.
Yeah. I like how they put in like the action of frustration is the solving of this puzzle. It's like, done with this game.
Now, how do you guys feel about some of the price points for the game? I know ARMS is kind of an original title, but is it worth, in your opinions? I mean, all we have is a video, so can't really give a definitive answer. But so far, is it worth your opinion for $60? Same with the Mario Kart 8. It's a few-year-old Wii U game and still $60 price point. What do you guys think about that?
I'm stoked for ARMS. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I'd pay $80 for it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, the demo for me was not $60 worth, but I would like to play it first and see what I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to think there's going to be more to it, like more modes and such. And I have a friend that actually went to the event and he got to play it and stuff, and he said that was the hidden gem of the show. He said the videos really don't do it justice. Like once you play it, and after a few minutes, when you get used to the controls, which standard controls are an option too. Yeah, he said it's really deep. It involves like a ton of technique and everything. And he said he's really looking forward to it. And I've seen some other outlets say the same thing. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's cool. Hope it's good.
Yeah, and as for full games like Mario Kart and Skyrim, I really don't mind that they're full price because let's be honest, a lot of people are going to be buying those games for the first time.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
Yeah, touche.
Not nearly as bad as paying $40 for Pokemon Blue. Or whatever.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like I feel like a lot of people don't think about the fact that these games are going to be portable. I mean, when they port anything over to this, one huge advantage that it's going to have is you play it on your TV like the other consoles, or you could take it with you. Like that's a really big deal. I mean, just think about the fact of playing Mario Kart 8 on a handheld and then go back to playing like Mario Kart 7 on your 3DS and just compare the two. I mean, it's night and day. So yeah, I mean the prices, I don't know, that I could see how the $60 doesn't sit well with some people for Mario Kart specifically. I don't think Nintendo really owes us anything, the people that bought it for Wii U, because there's a lot of people saying, oh, well, you should get some sort of discount, but I don't know. That doesn't really jive well with me. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these prices too might be placeholder prices. Not to say like Mario Kart, I'm sure that'll be $60, but like they said they're announcing Bomberman's price next week, and it's already like all over like the different websites for $59.99. I found it really odd that Minecraft is $59.99. That game's never been more than $29.99
Yeah.
on any console. So I think a lot of these might just be placeholder prices.
Well, that's a really good point, TJ. And I for some reason, the portability thought just kind of escaped my mind. But you're right. Having a portable Mario Kart 8 sounds
Yeah.
freaking amazing. Because my thought had previously been like, you know what, who's going to buy the Switch here the next few months? It's going to probably be people who owned a Wii U, if we're being honest. For the most part, I know Trent, you were getting a Switch and didn't own a Wii U, but I would say just best estimate that maybe 80-90% of Switch buyers this first few months are going to be Nintendo fans who own those games already. But yeah, I could totally see your point there that having a portable Mario Kart 8 would be very, very much worth it.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing too, like I think everyone jumps to that thought is, okay, well, everyone that had a Wii U is like the main market for Switch, but it also includes the 3DS owners too. A lot more people own a 3DS than they do Wii U. They're going to want this too because it's the latest Nintendo handheld.
Got us, Nintendo. Checkmate.
So just kind of speaking about the sales and the pre-orders and stuff, I'm assuming you guys both got yours already.
Yep, I got my Switch pre-ordered. Unfortunately, was not able to get the Zelda Master Edition with the Master Sword, so I will deal with just having the normal edition. But that's fine. I did get my Switch, so that's all that matters right now. I got my Switch and my Zelda. So.
Yeah, I have my Switch pre-ordered for Best Buy in-store pickup. That was a big deal for me, so I wouldn't have to wait that day. And I was able to snag a Master Edition.
Did you get it from Best Buy too, or?
Yeah, in-store pickup.
Ah, man, like I was ready and clicking, but the cart was like erroring out for me. I had it within minutes, but it didn't go through, unfortunately. So.
Well, I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. So if you look on eBay right now, those Master Edition prices, like sold prices, are $350 plus. Like there's some that are on there for like $500 sold.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't understand who these people are that are paying these prices for this, because if they're that diehard of a Zelda fan that they would pay that price just to get that Master Edition, why weren't they ready that night? Like, why didn't they just take Friday off work? And they probably weren't going to make that much that day at work anyways. So why didn't they just use the money, to just pay regular price and maybe stay up a little later? I don't understand that.
Well, this is coming from someone who is willing at this point to pay probably $100 for the NES Classic when it gets that low, so to speak. But see, personally, when the NES Classic came out, I was actually out of town on business and like literally couldn't like line up that morning because again, I was out of town on business. And then like I was kind of in charge of the meetings that were going on. And so literally at the time, I think it was 3:00 Mountain Time, that Amazon was like, okay, we're going up. I literally like called a break and then literally like went into another room by myself and would just, started spamming the Amazon refresh button, but I still didn't manage to get one. And then since then I've lined up at Target twice and GameStop twice on days they were supposed to have stock and still haven't been able to get one. I should probably tell my GameStop story. I'll try to keep it short, but it made me so mad. So there was one week in December that GameStop was holding all of their stock until Friday. But then that Wednesday night, there was a leak online, an internal email at GameStop saying like, instead of holding them for Friday, sell them all tomorrow, Thursday. So immediately I was like, yes. So I got up early. I went and got in line. I was the very first person there. People didn't start showing up maybe until like 30 minutes before the store opened. So like I was definitely getting one. And then like probably 20 minutes before the store opened, the employee came up and he's like, what are you guys here for? And, he told me in his Classic, he's like, oh, we're not selling them until Friday. And I was like, you should have an email right now. And he's like, oh, okay. So goes inside and 2 minutes later comes back up. Oh, yep. See the email. So yeah, we have about 9 right now. So you guys are good to go. And there's only like 4 of us in line. So we're like, yay. But then turns out he came out like 5 minutes before close, like, oh, sorry guys, our general manager says it's not good customer service to hold on to them or to sell them today when we've been telling people we're selling them on Friday. So we're going to sell them all tomorrow instead. So I was like, really? And found out later, like through all the online communities I'm part of trying to get one of these things, that literally my state is the only state that this happened in.
Oh my gosh.
So then I'm like, okay, well, they have 9. I'm lining up the next morning, Friday, they're selling them then. So I got up even earlier, got in line. I was like 5th in line or so at that point. Waited for a few hours, and then like again, the employee came to the store about 30 minutes for open and was like, "Hold on, let me see how many we have." He goes inside and comes back out. "Oh, we only have 3." And I was like, "What?"
Oh god.
And apparently,
Wow.
apparently they redistributed, like the stores in my state redistributed all of them so everyone would have 3, since some stores had none. So
Oh man.
I was like, ah. So going back to your original question, TJ, I would never
Yeah.
pay $500 for a master edition, but there's some people who have more money than they do time, and so
Sure.
they would rather just pay that money that time. And that's kind of where I am right now. Like I've set my flag in the ground for the NES Classic. Or like if I see a scalper selling them for 100s, $40 over the asking retail price, I'll go ahead and jump in there, because
Sure.
I figured that $40 extra is worth it to not try to stand in line and maybe get one at Target or GameStop from this point on. And so maybe some people out there believe $500 is enough to get that Zelda statue, especially if pre-orders don't come back up again and they are literally sold out forever. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that actually segues into the rest of my question: how is the Switch doing compared to the Wii U already? And do you think they'll open up more pre-orders?
It's really. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say I don't think every retailer put up their pre-orders yet. Like I don't think Toys R Us opened up their pre-orders. And then like after the conference, it was like retailers were putting up their pre-orders, opening them up at various times. As far as like if any of those retailers that sold out, because supposedly GameStop has sold out of pre-orders. Will they get more? I'm not sure, but I think Nintendo might be standing by their 2 million units at launch worldwide. So if that's true, I don't know if they really have a lot of room to add many more.
And it could really go either way. With the Wii U launch, I think the day that pre-orders went up, I went into a GameStop to pre-order one, and they're like, "Sorry, we are all out of pre-orders for the Wii U." And so they at the time they were putting your name on a waiting list or so, and so I put my name on the waiting list, and then like I tried a couple other places, but everywhere were quote unquote sold out of pre-orders for the Wii U. And so the only place that wasn't doing pre-orders at the time was my local Walmart. And so I literally like at 10 p.m. that night went and just got in line at Walmart. I was, again, not super far back, maybe 6th or 7th in line, and they had plenty for all of us there. So I got my Wii U and took it home, and like the very next day GameStop called me and was like, "Oh, we have Wii U's in." And then it turns out pretty much everybody had them that week, even though supposedly they were all sold out, and I couldn't get a pre-order. And because I couldn't get a pre-order, I went and waited in line at Walmart that night. So I don't think the same thing will happen, but it really could go either way at this point.
Yeah, because I'm one of the unfortunate people that decided to wait and not get mine immediately. And so I know that Best Buy and GameStop both are claiming to be sold out. Amazon says it's not available yet, but I've put my name on their list. So I don't know. I'm curious to see if the launch. I mean, because I know that they may be a little gun shy after the Wii U, but 2 million for a popular console doesn't seem like a ton to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I really think at this point, if you just kind of keep your eyes and ears open, I really don't think you'll have a problem finding one. Yeah, it probably just can't be too lax about it, but yeah, I really think you'll be able to get one.
And I keep my ear to the ground, Trent, especially since I'm still awaiting the Master Edition and the NES Classic to pop up again. So if I see anything, I'll let you know.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, same here too. I'll definitely let you know.
Excellent.
What do you guys think about the accessory prices? I know we talked a little bit about the game prices, but what about the accessories? Because I think that's the one thing that everyone's really kind of freaking out about.
Personally, for me, I was planning day one to get a Pro controller to play Zelda on, but at this point, I don't think I'm not going to get one. But I'm like, I'll probably wait for a sale now. So maybe just try out the Joy-Cons and play it that way, I guess.
Well, supposedly the Joy-Con like controller cradle, supposedly that's pretty comfortable. I think a lot of people agreed that the Pro controller is the most comfortable, but they said that cradle really isn't bad. It really gets the job done and does it well.
Yeah, so I figured I'd try it out. Especially it's a new console. I'll give its controller a try.
Yeah.
And I actually, after thinking about the idea of separating the Joy Cons and just like having them kind of sitting separately on each side of my lap or something like that, kind of like the old Wiimote nunchuck combo, is kind of appealing. So I was going to see how that works out.
Yeah.
So Joy-Con prices, the $50 for a single one, and it's $80, I think, for the pair. I think that's a little high. I mean, again, we kind of don't know the technology that's going into them. Apparently, that HD rumble is pretty intense. The fact that it could kind of simulate the device being full of marbles or ice cubes, where I think there's a game in 3-2-1 Switch that you shake it and you try to guess like how many marbles are inside of it, or something like that.
And 1-2 Switch, it simulates like you're holding like a wooden box, and then you have to figure out just by like moving it around and stuff. It simulates like the balls are rolling around. You have to figure out how many are in there, and supposedly it feels pretty good.
So yeah, between that and the motion sensing stuff, and does it have an IR blaster kind of on the front of it like the Wiimote did for pointers?
The right one does.
Okay.
The right Joy-Con does, yeah. And that actually, it's more advanced than the Wii one. It's a camera. It can tell distances. So like when you hold something up to it, it can tell how far away it is. And they even said it goes as far as like if you were to play rock, paper, scissors in front of it, it can differentiate between the different hand gestures.
Right, I remember them saying that. And
yeah.
Especially for the Kirby style draw game.
Yeah.
They were playing.
Because there's that one mini game on 1-2 Switch where you see how many sandwiches you can eat. So you hold it up to your mouth and you just start like, munching like crazy. And so that would explain how that handles that.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess those things are stacked with pretty good technology. And especially, I think I also read today that they don't have an actual like charging port on them. They charge kind of like a wireless charger for your phone does, I guess.
Yeah. So they charge when they're attached to the Switch itself, but then you can buy that that cradle that doubles as a charger. So I think you can plug that in and then like have them charging through there. Now, as far as that goes, I'm not sure if that cradle actually has its own battery in it and then it just gives that juice to the Joy-Cons when they're plugged in, or if it's just a way to plug in a cable. But I mean, in their defense, though, the Joy-Cons, they said, have a 20-hour battery life, which is pretty good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, considering the tech in there and all that, yeah, that's pretty good. I don't think a lot of people are going to have issues with like power.
Also, kind of on the note of accessories, I am really happy they're going USB-C for charging.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy. That rather than a proprietary port. Say that 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
Proprietary port. But yeah, like since I got my Nexus, I've only had USB-C charging devices, and the fact that they're going to use that and presumably going to be very fast charging because of the USB-C technology, that makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, and kind of getting back to the pricing a little bit, I know the $80 for the pair of Joy-Cons does seem like a little shocking at first, but if you break it down, I mean, that's potentially 2 controllers that you have. Like when you're buying that, you're getting a set of 2, where, some of the more basic games, well, I don't even want to say basic, because even Mario Kart can be played with, 1 Joy-Con. You're getting a set of 2, and Wii remotes are still $40. Like after all these years, they still cost $40. That's not with a nunchuck, which some games do require. So you tack on another 20, that's 60. And don't forget that Wii remotes still run on AA batteries. So if you kind of think about it that way, the $80, $40 a piece really isn't that bad.
I got all my Wii controllers by buying Wii Play for $20.
Yeah.
Like I think everybody did. Maybe not for $20, but
I think Oh, I'm sorry, Trent. Go on.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on the color options for the non-gray? Are you leaning that way, or do you like the solid color?
I am usually more of a traditionalist, especially when it comes to like the launch consoles, but the neon was just so weird. It was so strange to me that I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go with that. And then I could always just buy another set of like gray Joy-Cons, because that's the only difference, is just the color of those controllers. It has nothing to do with the console itself. But it's a very strange color choice. I don't know if they're kind of going with like boy girl, like almost, because it is borderline like baby blue and pink. I don't know if maybe that's what they were thinking, because I was like, why didn't they do like red and white, for like the Switch logo? But Very, very strange color choices. What do you think about it, Ryan?
Kind of the same thing. The baby blue or the lightish colors I wasn't a big fan of, and I probably would have gone for them if they were a different shade of blue and red. For example, the 3DS XL blue, I thought was the perfect blue, and so if they would have gone that way, I probably would have gone for it. But I don't know. I just don't dig the shade of blue and red they went for, so I just went with the standard gray black version for my pre-order.
What did you think, Trent?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan. I like the kind of gunmetal gray that they've got going, so that's what I'm planning on sticking with.
And if you look at my entertainment center, all my consoles are black, all of them. So I even have like the black Dreamcast, the Sega Sports Dreamcast, and I think the only things that aren't black technically are the NES and Super NES. Because the N64 is black. I have the black GameCube up there. I have the black Wii, the black Wii U, all three, the Xbox 360, Elite, Xbox One black, all the PlayStation's black. I guess, yeah, technically the PS1 isn't black, but yeah, anything that comes in black, I have in black. So I figured for consistency's sake, I should probably stick to the black Wii or Switch.
Well, can we take a moment just to appreciate and be thankful that this is finally back to a matte finish instead of a gloss finish?
Oh, yes.
Because I take very good care of my consoles, and my Wii U gamepad, no matter what, it looks like a kid just like slobbered all over it, and it looks disgusting, especially in the right light. It's horrible, and it's just because that gloss finish. So thank you, Nintendo. If anyone's listening, thank you for going with a matte finish.
Ditto. All right. Well, anything else on the Switch? Or are we going to go ahead and switch gears?
Let's switch to. No, I'm just kidding.
One more thing about pricing. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but the dock set, the extra dock. I mean, it comes with the system, so this is just merely an extra. It is the dock, an HDMI cable, and the power cable, and they are charging $90 for it.
Wow.
Because I was thinking, all right, cool, Switch. That's one thing I'm most excited for is, you pop it out, take it to another room, you got another dock in there, boom, you're not unhooking cables, any of that stuff, or you take it to a friend's house, wherever. $90 for that set, I don't understand that at all.
Well, I know they said that the GPU will operate at a higher clock speed when docked, but is that literally just a greater power intake to make that need, or does the dock have any internal hardware to boost the power of the Switch?
I think it's an energy efficiency measure.
Yeah.
Laptops work a lot of the same way, that as soon as they're plugged in or docked, they will ramp up their processor and graphics power. But which, if they were to do that speed when undocked, your battery would drain like crazy.
So yeah, if that's the case, and if there's no additional hardware inside that dock, then yeah, it's pretty exorbitant.
So what kind of ports does the dock have coming at the back?
So on the side of the dock, it has 2 USB ports, and then whenever they showed the rear of the cradle or the dock, I couldn't really understand how it worked. And finally, I saw one video. There's a plastic panel on the back, and you pull it down, and all the cords just run behind that panel. So it takes the power, the HDMI, and I think there's a third USB port back there as well.
Yeah, I mean, so I work in IT, and I buy a lot of laptop docks, and so like your standard Dell laptop dock for a business user runs around 140, but I mean you're getting some serious power out of that. Like 2 to 3 monitor output, bunch of different types of ports. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, it's not as expensive as it could be, but given what it's putting out, it does seem maybe a little bit over the top.
Do we know if the Switch itself uses its USB-C port into the dock?
I believe it does. I believe that's the only port on the bottom of the console. So yeah, I believe that's how it attaches.
Well, get ready for some third-party docks.
Yeah.
All right. I hadn't thought about that.
Let's go ahead and switch gears. We got some other stuff to talk about here. There's a few Star Wars items I wanted to go over. Did you all see the casting announcement for the young Han Solo movie this week?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, I'm excited about it.
Our friend Woody Harrelson is signed on to play Haymitch. I mean, no. So Trent, why don't you kick us off here? You said you're excited.
Yeah, I mean, I love Woody Harrelson. Pretty much everything. He was great in The Hunger Games. He was especially great in Zombieland. I think he always adds a very unique, kind of charm to whatever role he's playing. I'd be interested to see if he's playing some kind of like maybe mentor type role, kind of like you'd see in like a Sully Uncharted relationship, or something like that, or if he's going to be some kind of antagonist. I'm really, because he's actually playing that right now in the new Planet of the Apes movie. So I don't know. I'm interested to see. Well, he's in the trailer. Come on.
No, I'm just kidding.
So I'm curious to see what role they put him in, but I'm excited overall. I think he's a great actor.
I never thought about him being an antagonist. Kind of the rumor mill right now is basically saying, yeah, he's going to be Han Solo's mentor, but a mentor turned villain could be quite enticing, if you ask me. But yeah, I like the idea of Woody Harrelson. I know he gets a lot of hate sometimes, but yeah, especially like you said, I loved him in Now You See Me, both 1 and 2, especially Zombieland, Hunger Games, those standard modern movies there. I thought he did great in all those. The only asterisk I wanted to attach to that is that Woody Harrelson tends to be Woody Harrelson in all of his movies.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder how that's going to translate to a Star Wars universe. That being said, Samuel L. Jackson was a purple lightsaber wielding Jedi, so anything is possible.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Woody Harrelson to me falls into the certain type of actor category that, I mean, that's a conscious choice, going into casting them. Like you don't cast him unless you want Woody Harrelson. There's another actor that I'm trying to think of, and his name's escaping me. He did the Amazon Fire TV stick commercials.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Fred Savage.
I'll think about it. You guys keep talking.
Well, what do you think, TJ?
Yeah, I don't know. I never like to judge a casting decision before seeing at least like a trailer. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, Ryan, that I do worry about Woody Harrelson just being Woody Harrelson. I think he is a great actor, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, though, because with Force Awakens and Rogue One, I think the casting has been fantastic across the board. So I'm sure they know what they're doing.
Me too.
Gary Busey is who I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
And he's another actor in that category of like you're casting Gary Busey to play Gary Busey in your movie.
Pretty much.
So
it's kind of like Sean Connery. I mean, I'm not saying Sean
Yes.
Connery and Gary Busey are, on the same level, but Sean Connery's always Sean Connery.
Yep.
Did you guys also hear that Lucasfilm has come out with a statement regarding Princess Leia and the remainder of the new Star Wars trilogy? Well, they've actually come out and they basically said, like, I don't even know why we have to actually come out and say this, but no, we have no plans to digitally recreate Carrie Fisher's performance in the upcoming Star Wars movies.
I mean, I'm happy with that announcement. I don't know that they needed to say, I can't believe we have to say this, because I mean, they're the ones that just brought a dead actor back to life. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to still know what their answer is for Episode 9. But
yeah.
Well, and let's not forget too. I mean, spoilers, but the final shot of Rogue One is a digital Carrie Fisher. So
yeah.
Right.
I think we talked about before that, doing it with Carrie Fisher's blessing and, having it on there. And apparently Carrie Fisher loved it, like, when she saw the movie. And so that's a little bit different than an actor who has recently passed. People also pointed to Peter Cushing in the same movie. And he's like, well, he passed away 23 years ago and probably got the family's blessing to do that. And so, but I think the lack of tact, if they were to do it now, would be a little bit off. And so
definitely.
Well, you guys had a really great conversation about this. I know this is like the update, but yeah, you had a great conversation about this last week. And Trent, I believe it was you that brought up the Fast and the Furious, Paul Walker, like the way they handled that. Like, yeah, they did a beautiful job with that. And this whole situation, it really is a bummer. I mean, for, a lot of different reasons, but just the fact that, she finished shooting all of episode 8, and they had to come out and say, yeah, she was going to play a major role in both of those, or at least,
I
have
know.
pivotal scenes, and now that has to change. So I wonder if we're ever going to find out what the story was going to be, like once 9 is finally out.
I'm assuming probably 4 or 5 years past, maybe not even that long, but I'm assuming at some point somebody will do an interview, and we'll kind of like let the beans spill what their original plan was.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they did for Mass Effect, because the script for Mass Effect 3 got leaked online about a year before it came out, and so in doing so, they decided to change a lot of the story, and the lead writer for Mass Effect 1 and 2 came out a couple of years after and kind of went over what their original plan for the story was going to be, and it was really neat to see that plan connect with Mass Effect 1 and 2, some story threads that they had progressed through Mass Effect 1 and 2, but then just kind of didn't go anywhere in Mass Effect 3 because they had to make the changes, or at least they decided to make the changes. So I'm sure, Trent, you're right that they'll kind of do the same thing for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hearing that she had a big role in episode 9, probably bigger than she had in episode 8, was really kind of heart-wrenching.
Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, because you really wonder too, especially with Han Solo's final scene, the father-son relationship, and obviously we saw, excuse me, where that got him. You kind of wonder if it was going to be on the flip side, where like, okay, now like mother and son meet, will the interaction go the opposite way? So yeah, it really is a total bummer.
Yeah, well, especially since like that would have been a big first in Star Wars, because I can't really think of any son, mother, daughter relationships that get fully explored in Star Wars, and so that would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, we can always assume that Ewok that dies in Return of the Jedi, that's a mother and a son, and the mother goes.
Oh,
as
man.
much as after Carrie Fisher's passing, I would have loved to have seen a scene of her, helping Kylo redeem himself. I think I'm in the minority, maybe, that I kind of don't want Kylo to be redeemed in this trilogy, mainly just because I hate to sound like this, because I hate to sound like someone who is like, oh, episode 7 is just a retread of A New Hope. But I don't really want the Darth Vader storyline again. Darth Vader kills the mentor in episode 4, and then Darth Vader is redeemed by a family member. I kind of don't want that exact same story again.
I agree. I was actually kind of hoping that the pivotal role might actually have been Leia killing Kylo, which would have been kind of intense and maybe out there for a lot of Star Wars fans, or at least family moviegoers. But for those who read the old Legends canon, I don't know if I am spoiling something. Do you guys care if I spoil some of the Star Wars books that are no longer canon?
I'm okay.
No, I'm good.
So there's a storyline later on in the extended universe where Han and Leia's son turns to the dark side and becomes a Sith Lord and tries to take over the New Republic. And his sister, actually, his twin sister, is the one that takes him down and has to kill him in the end. And I thought that would be a really interesting thing if we have Rey having to kill Kylo.
You never know. Rey could still go to the dark side.
It's true.
Has a few tendencies, so.
And then that would be really interesting too. So I don't know. This is the first time in a long time where we have so much unknown. Like, where are they going to go with Star Wars? And it's very exciting.
It's a very exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially if for the people that do complain that Force Awakens was just a retelling of A New Hope, especially if they are like taking that into account and going, okay, well, we got that out of the way. Now let's go in a totally different direction. So we'll see.
Exactly.
And the director of Episode 8 has talked a little bit about that and kind of hinted towards that. He's 7 was connecting the old with the new, and now they're turning left. So it'll be. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, me too.
TJ, have you had a lot of involvement with the new canon in the extended universe, or read anything, watched anything?
No, I know my brother-in-law, he's been telling me forever to watch Rebels, and it's not that I don't want to, I never get around to it. Is there even? Do you guys even know? Is there a place like to stream it? Is it on any of the streaming services like Hulu or anything?
I believe if you have a cable subscription, you could watch it on Disney XD online.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they have the entire catalog of episodes on there, but I know that's where you watch the new episodes, at
Sure.
least.
So, but no, I guess to answer your question, no, I'm not really too caught up to speed.
Well, let me add to that voice saying you should watch Rebels. It's great. Trent just started this week, right, Trent?
Yes, we're almost halfway through the first season. It's really good.
Yeah, Trent and I are watching them together. I'm caught up, but I'm watching them with him.
Sure.
He's loving them so far.
Yes.
Cool.
We actually just finished Rebels last week.
Clone Wars.
Or Clone Wars. But yeah, I will add a fourth or third. But however many, you should watch it. They're really good.
Well, I know you guys mentioned last week, like the abridged version of Clone Wars, like the pivotal episodes. If one of you guys can, you'll have to give me that list.
Yeah, I could send that to you.
Cool.
It just has all the important arcs that you need to see.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so Trent, after having finished Clone Wars, do you have some final thoughts on the show as a whole?
If you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't seen it, you should watch it. You should kind of like drop your shoulder and get through the first few seasons, because I mean none of it's bad, but some of it's kind of But just the later seasons that go on, it just keeps getting better and better, and it puts the time period and the characters of the prequels in such a better light than just the movies do, and flesh it out to such a way that, like, episode 3, we watched it together after the fact. It's completely different to me now than it was before.
Oh, wow.
And you're a fan of the prequels. You're not one of those haters out there. But that said, would you say that the Clone Wars television show is better than the prequel movies as a whole?
Some of the arcs, yeah, are absolutely better storytelling than a couple of the movies were.
Wow. All right.
That's a very good show. Very good show. You also finished the Rogue One audiobook, if I'm to be correct.
Yeah, I posted a written review about it on our website. You can go check that out. It's a novel adaptation of the movie Rogue One, not to be confused with the prequel novel Catalyst that we've also talked about. But I finished it in about a week, which is really quick for me for an audiobook, and it is just fantastic. You get to see the inside the motivations of all the main characters and even some of the side characters. It does so much like world building. You learn a ton about like the Alliance and the Empire and where their positioning and everything is. You learn a ton about Mon Mothma that I'm assuming got cut from the movie. It's phenomenal.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Normally for me, the Star Wars books that are adaptations of novel or of movie scripts usually don't end up all that great. It's like, oh yeah, all the exact same scenes, but told in third person, written instead of a movie. But this one actually adds a ton of content, and just a lot of really good explanation. And I've said it before, but like the director Krennic stuff with him and Tarkin going at it, and like they're behind the scenes maneuvering at each other. It's really a shame they didn't feature that more powerfully in the show, because it's so good.
Has it changed your opinion of the movie any more? Like, made you think less of the movie because they did things in the book so much better, or vice versa?
No, the movie, I don't know how. There's certain things you can only do really well in a book, in my opinion. I don't know, because in a movie it would just come off as exposition. Like you can, I mean, if the actor is really good, they can give you an idea of what they're feeling and what they're thinking. But in a book, you can literally lay it out for the reader. And so there's a lot of things I just don't think they could have done. Yeah, I still think the movie's great. It doesn't take away from it. I just think that if you enjoy Star Wars books, you should definitely read it, because it'll make your appreciation of the movie even more.
Nice. I've had time to watch a bunch of stuff lately. I know, like a few podcasts ago, I was like, "Oh, I don't have time to watch anything," but now I've had a little bit of time to watch some things. I finished season 1 of Westworld. Have either of you watched that yet?
No.
Yes, I have, although my interest kind of tapered off as the season went on. So I've seen most of it, and
Oh.
I've seen the finale.
Okay. Well, I won't go into any spoilers, but I would say that I really, really enjoyed it. Probably not as much as everybody else because the internet kind of blew up a few months ago with it, basically calling it the next Game of Thrones for HBO. I wouldn't quite go that far, but I still ended up really, really enjoying it. I probably wasn't hooked until maybe about halfway through the season, which surprised me what you said, TJ. That's when you lost interest, but
Yeah.
that's when I kind of got really, really hooked. And without spoiling anything, I thought that the show's biggest weakness is that, especially in the finale, it felt like it was relying too much on its twists, um, rather than just good storytelling. I
Yeah,
guess. Does that make sense to you,
that
TJ?
that makes perfect sense. I wholeheartedly agree.
Like it,
Well, I haven't even seen it, but I've heard that the twist in the final episode is so obvious that you're just like seeing all this build up, and you're like, okay, get to it already.
they twist. There's like 8 twists in the finale.
Well, suppose I don't know. I was
Yeah,
listening
I
to
know. But
another podcast that was talking about it, but
yeah, most of them I saw coming. There's a few that got me, I'll admit. But it, like I said, like even though I'm saying this with some asterisks on it, like I still really enjoyed the show, but it felt like the finale only stood on the twists, and that was the only reason it was trying to keep you invested. It's like, oh, look at all these twists we got. It's like we got twists over here, we got twists over here. You think Shyamalan's great? Watch this. You know. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to where they take it in season 2, and I would still recommend it to anybody to watch. So
Season 2 isn't until 2018, right?
yeah, they're skipping a year,
Oh man.
so it's going to be a while. We're going to forget everything that happened.
Yeah.
maybe
I'm
they'll
a
pull a
short attention
Sherlock
span.
and have a Christmas special for you.
There you go. Also, on the list of things I'm way too late on, I also watched Stranger Things this weekend. Have either of you watched that?
Oh, Trent, go ahead.
Oh, and it's on my list, but I haven't gotten to it yet, and I'm keep meaning to. And the more I just a ton of people talk about it all the time, and they've announced season 2 already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
TJ?
it's
Yeah, I watched it when it came out. Me and my wife, we kind of powered through it, and yeah, I absolutely loved it. Um, what's that movie? Super 8. Have you guys seen Super 8?
I have, yeah.
Trent, have you seen it?
no, I have not.
Oh, well, the reason I'm bringing up Super 8 is because Super 8 really tried to harken back to like that 80s movie feel, like 80s kid adventure movie feel. And like that movie really, really disappointed me. And I feel like Stranger Things did the same thing, but like absolutely nailed it. It's totally 80s without shoving it down your throat. And I think that's one of the things that really made it great. I loved it.
It's a show that, unlike Westworld, it has its mystery and it keeps you enticed all the time while giving you breadcrumbs of what's going on. As so, like you as the watcher slowly begin to figure things out just before many of the characters do. It might sound weird to say, but it's very, very well written in that
Yes.
manner. And TJ is absolutely right. It felt like an 8-hour Spielberg movie from the 80s.
Yeah.
Something that he would
Nice.
have done in that time. And even though I mean, I really, really enjoyed it, and even though I enjoyed them when I watched them, and I watched like the first couple episodes, like, oh yeah, that was pretty good. But it was probably about 3 or 4 episodes in that I was just like, I gotta watch this all the way through until the end because I need to know what happens right now. But yeah, I'm sad I waited so long to watch it because yeah, I in the summer when it came out, everybody was talking about it and how great it was, and then like I watched a trailer and the trailer didn't quite do it for me.
Hmm.
And then amongst all the positive reaction to it, I had like 2 people I knew in real life. They were just like, it wasn't that great, and so that kind of is what pushed it back in the queue for me to not watch it until now. And so,
Well,
but
hey, I'm kind of jealous. I wish I could have watched it for the first time
yeah,
recently. So, Trent, yeah, I'm really jealous of you.
Yeah, for me, there's too many Netflix originals that I'm trying to catch up on. They like have a season of, you know, House of Cards. I want to watch all of Orange is the New Black. So it's just like my list just keeps going and going. and they keep adding new shows all the time, and I'm like, yep, I need to give up on trying to watch all of them and just pick which ones. I need to finish Luke Cage here soon.
That's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I have not finished that one yet either.
Thankfully, Stranger Things was only 8 episodes. I'm personally glad it wasn't more. I felt that was the perfect length. Even though I tend to like the 8 to 13 episode seasons, I felt Stranger Things, if it was given more episodes, it would have risked kind of losing steam a little bit.
Yeah, because like none of it really felt like filler, and that's actually the biggest problem I have with the Marvel shows. Like I know I'm still working on Luke Cage, but I've watched all the other shows. Like I really do enjoy them, but the 13 episodes, I'm like, man, these could be really, really solid as like 10 episodes because there are a lot of filler moments in those. I mean, maybe you guys don't agree, but
I definitely felt that, especially in Daredevil season 2. I felt like a
yes.
lot of that season was. I mean, they had 2 distinct storylines that could have been their own seasons, in my opinion. And even then, it still felt like some episodes were dragging.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And I
I
definitely
agree.
felt that for Jessica Jones. You know, how many times can you catch the Purple Man and then he escapes again before the end of the season?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Catch me next time.
And I mean, yeah, they are great shows. Like, don't get me wrong, but I really feel like they would benefit from just 10 solid episodes that just get to the point.
Yep,
Yeah,
I agree.
definitely. All right, so we're getting close to time here. We'll just take another just minute or so and talk about things we're excited for or playing right now. So TJ, what are some things that you wish you had time for or are looking forward to?
Oh, well, I have a copy of Final Fantasy 15. A buddy of mine who's a huge Final Fantasy fan, he bought like the like biggest collector's edition, and then he bought like the deluxe edition. He wanted to keep all this stuff, so he's like, "Hey, I know you're not really into Final Fantasy. I think you'll really like this. Take the second copy I have, play it, whenever you can. I really think you'll enjoy it." So I got a few hours into it, but this past month, like I would say, like since right before Christmas up until now, I just haven't really been in the mood to sit down and really invest my time in like a big game. And now that Resident Evil 7's right around the corner, I'm really excited for that. So I kind of feel like it's too late to jump into Final Fantasy, and I'm just kind of waiting for that to come out next week.
I'm really excited for Resident Evil 7 next week.
Yeah. Have you guys got to try it in VR yet, the demo?
Wait, were you guys talking about the movie or the game?
Oh.
Oh, dang.
It's true. No, I haven't got to try the game in VR yet. Just the normal demo on PlayStation.
What about you, Trent?
No, I'm actually not a big Resident Evil fan.
Or scary anything fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I can do some scary movies. Scary video games scare the crap out of me because you actually for a movie or like a play or anything like that, you can kind of like shield yourself from it. But when you're playing a video game, it's you, if you look away, you die in most of those games, so it makes it even worse.
I
yeah.
remember trying to show you Dead Space in college, and you're just like, nope, nope.
All kinds of nope. As I remember when you showed me when you bring up the menu, stuff's still going on around you. I was like, wait, it doesn't even pause it.
Well, I've put quite a bit of time into that Resident Evil 7 demo. I even did like the ridiculous like hidden steps to unlock like the hidden item that transfers over to the full game. I absolutely love it, and I don't own PSVR, but my buddy does, and we played it there in VR, and I've played a ton of horror games in my day. This is by far the most terrifying video game experience I've ever had. When you're doing it in VR, it is just it's awful in like the best possible way.
Now, do you have PSVR?
No, I do not. I do not have PSVR. I have a PlayStation 4, but yeah, no VR at the moment.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting on the VR, so yeah, we'll have to see what the reviews and other big impressions are of doing the full game, because I just don't know if I'm a person who loves my horror games. I just don't know if I'd have the stamina to go through an entire Resident Evil campaign in VR.
Well, that's one of the nice things about it is you can play it in or out of VR, and you can transition like however you want. You could play, a couple hours in VR and then go, back to just playing on the TV. So you don't have to pick like VR mode or, standard mode. And I gotta say, I was really worried about how they were going to handle it. I was like, this is definitely going to make you sick instantly. But the controls that they have and the way you can customize them, like they really nailed it. Like it just
Nice.
works.
Very nice. Yeah, it'll have to be one of the first games I try if I ever get a VR headset.
Yeah. Because one of the craziest things about playing it in VR, and it's something you can't do just playing on the TV, when you're wearing the VR headset, you're still walking around with the controller and everything. And like even when you shoot like the gun and stuff, you're aiming with the controller. But you can like lean into like doorways and stuff. So like you're physically leaning over, like if you were to do it in real life, like peeking down a hallway. That's and cool. Peeking around corners. And you never want to turn around in that game, especially in VR, because you have no idea what's going to be there. And I'm telling you, if you get the chance to try that demo, absolutely do it, because it's scary stuff.
Do they have it at certain retail stores, or where can you try that at?
Oh no, the demo that you can download for PS4.
Okay.
Yeah, they were updating the demo, like adding new rooms and stuff, and then in the final update they added the whole VR capability. And then like the really crazy hidden like quest in it that gets you that item. So yeah, awesome. Give it a shot if you can.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that about wraps us up for this week. TJ, you were awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here on this week's.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for having me. I had a great time.
Thank you. Trent, you're a beautiful person. Thank you for joining me every week.
Aw, thanks.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. You could always reach us out to us on social media. Our Facebook page, we're pretty active on there, semi-active on Twitter. Also definitely check us out on our website. Trent and I write articles every now and then. I recently wrote one about my thoughts on the two new episodes of the new Walking Dead season, the Telltale game, not the show. And just kind of my thoughts on the Walking Dead Telltale series as a whole. So definitely check that out. And you could reach us at briefnerdity@gmail.com, or just leave a comment on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks everybody for listening. Have a good one. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.